Hello everyone, Vic here with another video. Today we're talking the Friday 13th series. I'm ranking all the endings from worst to best. Now listen, I don't think that a great ending is necessary to have a good slasher movie. It's hard to get right. We know plenty of horror movies that don't stick the landing with the ending. Even the master of horror, Stephen King, struggles to write a good ending. So I don't think it's a make or break thing if you have a bad ending or a good ending. But that said, the movies that do get the ending right, you got to give them props because it is hard to do. The Friday 13th series is one that I think has a pretty good amount of good endings. It has a few stinkers, but we'll get to it on the list. So let's go through the ranking. We're going to start with number 12, the absolute worst ending in the series. No question, no doubt about it. Jason Takes Manhattan is bottom of the barrel, bottom of the list. Now listen, we know all the criticisms and complaints about Jason Takes Manhattan. We know that 80% of the movie's on a damn boat. We know that there's no damn reason in character for Jason even to get on this boat in the first place. It was just not in line with his character, his motivations. What the hell is he doing leaving Crystal Lake? The cursed Camp Crystal Lake. He's supposed to be the protector of the lake. He's not supposed to care about chasing kids on a damn boat to Manhattan. We don't know if this is the entire senior class. If it is, then a lot of damn dead bodies in this movie. A lot of them drowned on the boat. But there's a lot of questions, a lot of things. The bottom line is they didn't have the budget to do the movie they wanted. They had to do 80% boat, 18% Vancouver, Canada, and 2% actually filmed in New York. That said, what about the ending? What's bad about the ending? Why is it ranked bottom of the barrel? Listen, when Jason gets to New York, it's a lot of fun. Jason, who usually isn't too self-referential, we're getting a lot of funny things here with him. Looking at the big, the hockey player on the sign. We're getting the moment where he kicks a damn stereo. The kid's like, "Hey, partner, you're in big trouble." And then he just turns, lifts the mask. Hilarious. Showing Jason has a lot of personality. Jason coming to the diner, throwing the damn cook across the damn the bar counter. Jason on the subway, people just ignoring it, not really caring. All this stuff is relatively fun. But why it's ranked at the bottom is very simple. When they go into the sewer, and when Jason's chasing Rennie and her boyfriend in the sewer, you just get this horrible, terrible ending where Jason, who is has a bunch of, I guess, toxic waste coming at him, and I guess because of it's bringing up some childhood drama, him drowning in the lake, the toxic waste system hits him, and Jason appears to start melting. Apparently, the mask comes off, and what's revealed there is a sight, a hideous face that not even a mother could love. We get Muppet Face Jason. Muppet Face Jason. Now, look, I read the behind the scenes on this, and the bottom line is they didn't feel like they had the right budget, effects, CGI to actually get this ending right. So I would have just said, hey, I would have, called an audible and just done a whole different ending because Jason looks absolutely ridiculous when the mask comes off. Not only do we get Muppet Face Jason, but then apparently he transforms back into child Jason. So then the waters, they look down and they see little kid Jason, 9-year-old, 6-year-old Jason. Apparently the toxic waste has transformed him into a little kid. And it's just, what the hell, man? I don't understand. Like, the director claims that, hey, I thought this might be the last Jason movie, so let's send him out in style. This is not sending him out in style. This is sending him out in pure stupidity. I hate this ending. Terrible. I mean, so many things you could have done with Jason in New York, but to give us a sewer Muppet face melted back into his childhood form Jason, you should be ashamed of yourselves, makers of Jason Takes Manhattan. But look, still a fun movie, so I can't hate that too much. Okay, next on the list, number 11, Friday 13th, 2009, remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it. I think it's almost just basically a sequel, I would say. I mean, it doesn't have the feel of a remake or reboot or requel. It feels like just a random sequel, but solid movie all around. You have a great badass Jason, played by Jason Mears, woodsman Jason, crafty as hell, big as hell, intimidating, knows his way around the woods. Kind of weird him, taking a captive victim, kidnapping them, holding them hostage, secret underground lair. I know she reminds him of his mom, and so he's trying to recapture that. I guess there's some sort of semblance of history of that if you look at Friday 13th Part 2 about, female protagonist being able to control Jason by pretending to be his mom. But Jason just having an underground prisoner doesn't really seem right. That said, fantastic kills, somewhat likable characters. We get to the very end. We have 3 people left. We have the dude from Supernatural. We have his sister, and we have Jenna. And as all of us are, we're all Team Jenna. Of these 3 remaining characters, we like Jenna. And who gets killed? Of course, None other than Jenna. Jenna is the odd man out in this Three's Company pairing. Love interest, she is not, or if she is, he's gonna have to get back on the day naps because Jenna's dead, and the kills all the momentum of the ending for me. I didn't like that. The final fight scene, guy from Supernatural, strong enough to kick Jason's ass. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It's just, this ending is just unremarkable. It's not memorable. It doesn't stand out, so it can't be anywhere near the top of the list. So that's number 11, Friday 13th, 2009. Okay, let's go to number 10. And we're talking Jason X. Jason X, which, as I told you guys, I saw for the very first time in my programming class, bootleg copy on the computer. Terrible quality, but we had half the class laughing their ass off in most of the movie. My favorite character, Brodsky, the very moment he gets stabbed, and he's like, it's going to take more than, a poke in the ribs to put this old man down or this old dog down. And then, boom, a bigger stab comes, and he says, oh, that ought to do it. Funny, and so many funny moments like that in Jason X. But ending-wise, I mean, Jason out in space and then floating towards the ship, being intercepted by Brodsky, them, hemorrhaging into the atmosphere, being sucked in the atmosphere, gonna just basically explode the atmosphere, all the while Brodsky punching Jason in the head. I don't know. I mean, it's, again, just felt unremarkable. I know this is probably going to be the ending. I mean, if you're doing a horror movie in space, most likely the villain's going to get sucked into space. We saw it with Leprechaun in space as well. I get it, but I don't know. I would have liked something a little bit more original than just killer gets sucked into space and then dries up in the atmosphere, explodes. But overall, Jason X, fun movie. Of all the sequels, probably the most fun movie to watch with a crowd. But again, it's kind of an unremarkable ending, I would say. Okay, number 9. Freddy versus Jason, the movie that my partner in crime, Nick Arcana, does not like, hates Freddy vs. Jason. If you want to see Nick Arcana just absolutely hate a movie, go on a rant, find our Freddy vs. Jason podcast in the archives. Me personally, I'm a fan of Freddy vs. Jason. I think it's aging well as time goes on. I think people who initially were disappointed when it first came out, a lot of them have kind of changed their tune and come on board. Now you hear nothing but positive praise for Freddy vs. Jason, and I concur. It was going to be hard to put these two icons together in a story that makes sense, to find some logical way to pair these two together. So the story probably wasn't going to make any sense. That's why it took damn near 20 years for them to get even a decent script together. So, yes, I understand the script has issues. I understand the human characters are very, very annoying. But the last 45 minutes of this movie, once you get Jason into the dream world with Freddy, we are kicking ass, off to the races. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I don't dislike this ending. I mean, none of these remaining endings do I really dislike per se. But I will say this. The ending has one problem. We're getting so much Freddy vs. Jason. Freddy whooping that ass. Whooping Jason's ass. Nobody wants to admit this. Jason fans, Freddy fans, but Freddy in the real world, somehow having the fighting abilities of John Wick and Jason Bourne, was kicking Jason's ass. In my opinion, probably was going to win the fight. But there's too much interference from the human characters. We get too much Monica Keena, too much Jason Ritter. Welcome to my world, bit. Like all this stuff with Monica Keena at the end is just annoying. And their interference, I think, brings the ending down. We needed a fair, clean ending, a clean finish. Just Freddy and Jason. Kill off all the human characters. We don't need any of them. Just Freddy and Jason. I do like the very ending. Jason coming out the water with Freddy's head. Freddy giving the wink, letting us know that old Freddy is still not down for the count. Still alive. Maybe they're in a dream sequence. Maybe Jason is just stuck in an eternal dream where Freddy's going to haunt his nightmares for the rest of his life. I don't know. Either way, I do like the ending a lot. So I'm putting it here. It could have been higher for sure, but it's just literally Monica Keena being annoying to me and Jason Ritter being annoying. The human protagonist, them as a couple at the end, is probably one of my least favorite final girl, final guy in all the Jason movies, let's say. So, okay. Number 8, we're going Friday 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, The Adventures of Roy Burns. Now listen, this is one of those movies that has taken on quite a reappraisal as time has gone on. I remember throughout the 90s, throughout the 2000s, early online message boards, the Friday 13th message board back in the day, people were not fans of A New Beginning. It was the sort of bastard stepchild of the series. People were not fans of this movie. People didn't like the movie in general. They felt like it's kind of a sort of dirty porn version of Friday the 13th, even more so than the normal Friday the 13th film, with, no Jason and, terrible acting, a lot of things wrong with it. I somewhat concur. I never was a huge fan of the movie, and even as I'm seeing it being reappraised and fans suddenly heaping praise at the feet of Friday the 13th Part 5: A New Beginning, I'm not suddenly calling it a good film or one of my favorites in the series. I think it is still silly as a whodunit. I don't really like most of the death scenes. I don't like most of the characters. But the ending is fun. I mean, you got Jason's or someone in a Jason mask, you know, um, chasing Reggie, and Reggie running through the woods faster than any character I've ever seen run in a horror movie. You got Pam, who is a solid female protagonist, and then you have this version of Tommy Jarvis. Now, you get into the barn, and you got this chainsaw fight here with Pam, and that's pretty cool. And Reggie being resourceful, and then shows up not only than none other than Tommy Jarvis shows up to confront his fears, to meet the person who's been haunting his visions, Jason Voorhees. Now, throughout the movie, Tommy Jarvis was kicking some ass. He got in multiple fights in this movie, and it seemed like, while he's been locked away, he's been studying Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, developing the skills so that once he's over this Jason thing, he can go fight in the Mortal Kombat tournament, I guess. Because Tommy Jarvis is kicking ass all throughout this movie, and when it gets to the end and he's face to face with his biggest fear, Jason Voorhees, Tommy just stands there and waits about 9 minutes for not even Jason, Roy Burns, to approach him and stab him. I was so damn disappointed that Tommy Jarvis didn't whoop Roy Burns' ass because we saw the fighting skills. He could have done it, but I guess he still helps take out Roy at the end, so all is well. When Roy flies off the thing and flies on the spikes, one complaint is that him unmasked, the reveal, it doesn't even look like Roy Burns there. It doesn't look like Roy. Like, they show the face, and it's so quick that I don't know if the audience on first watch could actually tell that that's the paramedic dude from the beginning of the movie. So the reveal itself is done pretty bad. I know there's an explanation at the hospital afterwards of who it is, but I would have liked the reveal to be a little bit more clear, a little bit more clarity about, oh, this is Roy, the paramedic. It looks like more like the dude, the guy that was sort of the head of the clinic, the guy that they find in the woods, like stabbed against a tree, sort of killed off screen. It looked more like him. It looked like he was the killer at the end more so than Roy. So they need some more clarity there. But overall, decent ending, fun. Big shout out to Reggie and the actor who plays Reggie. I think he's the highlight of Part 5. And of course, his older brother Demon with could have been the hit song of the decade, Ooh Baby. I'm just mad we didn't get that top chart number. It should be on iTunes or something. Come on. Okay, let's go to number 7, Friday 13th Part 2. We all like Ginny. We feel like Ginny is one of the better female protagonists in the series. I concur with that. You have a fantastic chase scene here with old Sackhead Jason. Not yet having the mask yet, Sackhead Jason. I'm so happy that wasn't a permanent look. I'm so glad we got the hockey mask. I just don't think that Sackhead Jason would have had the same impact throughout the series if he still had the sack. That said, Friday 13th Part 2 leaves so many questions here at the ending. What happened to Muffins the dog? Nick Arcana thinks that Muffins is somewhere doing well, alive and well. I think Muffins is one dead dog. I think Jason got hungry, and some people, when they get hungry, they reach for a Snickers bar. I think Jason reaches for Muffins the dog, cooked that dog, ate him. Sad to say, I don't think Muffin is amongst the living at this point. And then the big question from the ending of Part 2 is, where's Paul? What happened to Paul? Well, reading the fantastic behind-the-scenes book, Crystal Lake Memories, it is said by the writer that his intention was that Paul was dead at the end. Unfortunately, I know there's a split amongst the audience members, the fans, about Paul being alive, Paul not being alive. Why is he not in the ambulance? Where is he at? Well, apparently Paul's dead according to the writer. Now, I don't know if we don't give him credence of like he determines the canon, but Paul apparently is gone. But look, I mean, that is a solid ending. Ginny being resourceful, using the head of Pamela Voorhees to manipulate Jason into, getting what she wants and killing him basically, or not killing him, I should say, but getting rid of him. Weird dream sequence with Jason jumping through the window thing and grabbing, with the hair too, and Jason looking very odd without the mask. His appearance without the mask changes so much from the end of Part 2 to Part 3. You have to believe that the ending of Part 2 is actually a dream sequence, again explaining that Paul is still somewhere dead. Okay, let's go to number 6, Jason Goes to Hell. Well, well, well. The thing about this ending is that if you're watching Jason Goes to Hell, you quickly surmise about 30 minutes in, like, hey, Jason was at the beginning of the movie, but now he's nowhere to be seen. And then an hour goes by and you're like, hey, I've been watching this movie for an hour. Jason was here for the first 10 minutes. And I still haven't seen him in an hour. And I bet when Kane Hodder read the script, he was like, hey, I'm in the first 10 minutes and then I'm not seen until the very end of the movie. What the hell? This is maybe not Jason Goes to Hell. This is maybe just should be called Invasion of the Jason Body Snatchers, because this is kind of a ripoff of Body Snatchers. But you get to the ending. They're all at the house. Jason comes running in as the cop. He actually talks. You know, Jason speaking in this movie, grunting a lot at the beginning when he's getting shot to shit, but just speaking, giving a line. And eventually, the fun part of the ending is the oh shit moment where Jason jumps up from the basement, fully formed, Kane Hodder, looking like he's gained 40 pounds between Jason Takes Manhattan and Jason Goes to Hell, which is fine because Jason in the Woodsman probably set up, you know, a little home gym in the woods, been hitting the iron, eating as many Muffin the Dogs as he can find, and he's bulked up. So this is bulked up Jason who needs to get a haircut, but that's okay. He's got time to get a haircut later on in Hell. Hopefully they have a good barber in Hell. But Jason back to form. And what does Jason do when he comes back to form? Does he go right to killing? Nope, because it's the end of the movie. So we get Jason who, as many evil people do at the end of movies, villains, instead of killing the final people, they just decide to beat the shit out of them. And that's no different here. Jason on the playground, the backyard with Steven, decides to throw him around, ragdoll him, and beat the shit out of him for 3 minutes, which is kind of funny because, you know, Jason's like hitting him in the head with a shovel, throwing him on some monkey bars. It's just not what you expect. It's like, why is Jason not just like snapping this guy in half or breaking his neck? Why is he chosen to play with Steven, beat the shit out of him? Because for plot contrivances, we need Steven to get his ass kicked until Jason's niece is able to come up behind him with the magical dagger given to her from Creighton Duke, stab Jason, and now all hell breaks loose, literally, because hell comes up from the ground and drags Jason down. Look, it's a goofy ending, and you know what the ending needed to? It needed more Creighton Duke. If I was writing this movie, I'd be like, okay, junk this whole ending. Creighton Duke, you're going to be the one fighting Jason. You do the whole thing where you're getting beat up by Jason or having some epic fight, and then still have, you know, the sister or the niece come and stab him. But we need more Creighton Duke. Creighton Duke was the best part of Jason Goes to Hell. This needs more Creighton Duke. But that said, we do get a very fun last part of the ending with the Freddy mask coming up and grabbing, not the Freddy mask, the Freddy glove coming up and grabbing the Jason mask, pulling it back down, setting up Freddy vs. Jason, which would come out undoubtedly 10 years after this movie. So Freddy grabs the mask, and then Freddy takes 10 years to make a plan. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, canon-wise, Freddy vs. Jason picks up right after Jason Goes to Hell, but we as the audience had to wait 10 damn years after this thing. So, okay. Pretty solid ending, though. Just need more Creighton Duke. Jason, uncharacteristically, decides to just beat the shit out of Steven. I don't get it, but whatever. Okay. Let's go to number 5. We're getting into our top 5 now. And number 5 is going to be Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Now, originally when this movie came out, when they were planning this, they actually had originally the first idea of Jason versus Freddy or Freddy versus Jason. It's just that the studios, New Line and Paramount, couldn't get together to work that out in terms of how that would work in terms of the rights. Each company just wanted to borrow the other company's character and then make the movie, distribute it and all that, but it wasn't going to work out. So from there, somehow the idea came up of Jason versus Carrie. Of course, can't get the rights to Carrie either, but you can make your own Carrie, and we have that here with Tina Shepard, R.I.P. Laura Park, who recently passed away. I think she does a fantastic job in The New Blood. And at the end of this movie, man, I'll tell you what. I first watched this movie when I was about 10, 11 years old. It was at a birthday party. Me and the neighborhood kids got some pizzas, went to the video store, rented 2 movies, The Curse of Michael Myers and Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. And for our like 11-year-old brains, this ending blew our minds away. We were like, holy shit, not only is this girl fighting back against Jason, she is kicking his ass. She is more supernatural than Jason. It is, look, okay, listen, you're this deep in the series. You start having gimmicks, you need new ideas. You don't want to repeat the same exact formula over and over again. So, I mean, here we're starting to get some goofy stuff. We have a psychic, telekinetic woman here. We have Next one's gonna be him going to Manhattan, and then after that he's going to hell, and then he's going to space. So the series is gonna get more ridiculous as you get into like sequel number 7, 8, 9. So I understand that they had to do something different here. And look, it's a lot of fun. Everything from when Tina and Jason first find each other in the woods, everything with them in the house falling on Jason, Jason falling through the stairs, all that is so much fun. It's, Jason throwing Melissa headfirst in the TV. It's a great and fantastic ending. That last 20 minutes you can show to a non Friday 13th fan and they're going to have fun with it. But why it's in my top 5, but it can't be in the top 2 or 3. There's one thing that really holds back this ending, one fatal flaw, and that is the very end. Jason tormenting Tina, out by the water, and who's gonna come to save her? Her dead father jumps out of the water in complete human form, not decomposed at all. He's gonna grab Jason and take Jason back in the water. This raises so many questions. Was that his actual body in the water? Like when he died originally, the police and ambulance didn't come and find his body in the water and take away. If it's not his body, because if it was his body, it should be decomposed. If it's not his body, it's actually a ghost. The ghost of her father actually was in the water and came up and took Jason down. Huh? And then the father at the beginning of the movie is kind of pitched almost like as an abusive husband and like a bad father or something. So it's kind of like we're giving this guy a redemption arc. I don't know. I don't know if I understand anything about this ending. After this, did Tina think she dreamt this? Did she tell the police to come again and look in the body water to find her father? Like, and if they did, why is Jason still in the water at the beginning of part 8? So it's just so many questions are raised by the stupidity of this ending. You could have done better than that. At least if you're gonna do that, it is his actual body. Then just make him look like a skeleton or something. I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird ending. But okay, let's go to number 4, the original Friday 13th, Pamela Voorhees, the killer. If you are Drew Barrymore in Scream, I implore you to rewatch the movie before Ghostface kills you. The answer is Jason. No, the answer is not Jason. It's Pamela. They were going to kill old Casey Becker anyways, but she could at least got the question right on the way out. Pamela Voorhees, the killer of part 1. Whodunit, brought down a little bit by the fact that you don't ever see Pamela Voorhees all throughout the movie. She's never in the background. So if you're playing whodunit, you just can't guess who the killer is. And that's kind of a letdown for whodunit. You want to be able to put the clues together and be like, hey, if I pay attention, it's right there in the background. Oh, look, the cook, Pamela Voorhees, that's her. We don't get any of that. She just shows up at the end, and Alice, for some reason, immediately trusts her and is like, oh my God, you're here to help. Come help me. And she's like, I'm here to kill you. And then you get this big fight scene here with Alice and Pamela. I'm not super impressed with this ending. I just want to tell you guys why it's in my top 4. Oh, actually, I guess in my top 3. It's really because the very, very end thing with Alice in the boat and then Jason's, I guess, child Jason something jumps out the water. I'm telling you guys, in all the horror movies I've seen, this is one of the best jump scares of all time. The shrieking music, the sudden surprise of it. If you watch that movie with surround sound with somebody who hasn't seen the movie, blast that damn surround sound, sit back and, give them the side eye and just like wait for their reaction. That will get almost anybody, I'm telling you. That jump scare is the best jump scare in the entire series. Okay, so my number 3 actually is going to be Friday 13th Part 3. I think that Jason Friday 13th Part 3 is one of my favorite versions. Shoutouts to Richard Booker, who played Jason in Part 3. Did a fantastic job with the movements, the mannerisms, the facial expressions. Chris, as our female protagonist, she does a good enough job. There's a great chase scene here with Jason. There's a good cat and mouse chase between the two. I love when she's hiding with the log, hits him in the back of the head. I love the whole car sequence with him chasing her. It's just a great chase sequence. I do say that all the time, that Vera and Shelley should have been the main characters of Friday the 13th Part 3. This final chase sequence should have been Vera. She was set up as a much more natural final girl with her story of coming on this as a blind date with her mom telling her not to go. It's a much more natural setup for her to be the final girl. And just Shelley would have been very interesting in some kind of role here at the end, or if you still want to kill him off, that's fine. But I think Vera would have been a better final girl than Chris. That said, Chris does a great job when we get to the ending. Okay, why is this stand out so much to me? It doesn't have the jump scare that Friday the 13th, the original one, has at the end. But when Chris is in the boat at the end and she looks up and Jason's staring at her from the top of the house and he looks to the window, it's so damn creepy. I don't know why that triggers me to be like, feel like just creeped out. And then Jason comes barreling through the door and he looks so excited. Just, I don't know. I know it's like probably a dream sequence, but that was just like a very creepy moment. I remember watching that on TV as a kid and being like freaked out all day after seeing Jason just staring at her from the top of the thing. And then, yeah, but so I don't know. It's a solid ending. Chris does seem like she's kind of lost her mind at the end, but it'd have been cool if they followed up with that in part 4 with Chris in the hospital, but they didn't do that. All good. All right, let's go to number 2. My favorite movie in the franchise, Jason Lives. Okay, the ending. Tommy Jarvis as went to the damn local bookstore and figured out that the only way to kill Jason is to return him to his original resting place. Canon-wise, what does that mean? We don't know because we don't know if Jason actually drowned in the water or if Jason was alive, if he, shored up on the other side of the lake and raised himself in the woods. He built a shack there. Is Jason human? Was he a ghost? So going by what Tommy believes, Jason drowned in the water. He actually drowned. He died in the water. He's a ghost. So returning to his resting place, well, we'll keep him there, which I think we all pretty much probably feel like is bullshit. But because of that, we get this very exciting ending. Tommy Jarvis on the water, Jason walking into the water, having a real personal vendetta with Tommy Jarvis. This is the culmination of a 3-movie arc. Tommy Jarvis versus Jason. Tommy Jarvis, the only reoccurring character in the series who has the closest thing to a Dr. Loomis versus Michael Myers or Laurie Strode versus Michael Myers is Tommy Jarvis. And this is a fantastic finale for the Tommy Jarvis Jason battle. We would have loved to see Tommy Jarvis return in future sequels. He would have been great playing that Creighton Duke role in Jason Goes to Hell. But this does it justice. Also, Megan's a fantastic final girl. It's, to have that as the final pairing, Tommy Jarvis and Megan in part 6 is my favorite final girl, final guy pairing in the series. So them together basically taking out Jason at the end, amazing. And even right before the ending, I do love the whole thing with Sheriff Garrett, whatever Megan's father is. He was an amazing third character too, and I liked his sacrifice and his death scene also getting bent backwards. But just a fun, exciting ending. The entire movie Jason Lives is a fun, exciting movie, and the ending does that justice. So big props to that. All right, let's go to number 1, Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, false advertising. We're going to get a new sequel the year after this, but they had the right idea in mind. Give us a final chapter. Okay, there's really nothing at all to complain about with this ending. The entire chasing with Trish and Jason. Jason in this movie seems particularly demonic and demented. Like, I know sometimes people try to frame Jason as a victim or somebody who like a poor soul who's just possessed with some kind of curse and all that, and he's not pure evil. I don't know. I think Jason is definitely evil as hell. So, yeah, I don't know about that. And not only that, the way he runs, he's so fast in Final Chapter. When he's chasing Trish, from one house to another, so fast, chasing her up the stairs, she dives out the window. The brilliance of, young Tommy Jarvis to shave the head, to mimic Jason as a kid, distract him enough for, Trish to take him out with the machete. The awesome Tom Savini effect of Jason's face just like going down the machete. And then we get a great sort of clever ending with Tommy Jarvis looking at the camera, giving us that look. That sort of thing that would be used also in the Halloween franchise with Jamie Lloyd. But that idea that maybe Tommy Jarvis is going to be the new killer, it would have been a good ending to the franchise, honestly. It's a good wraparound. It feels like the final ending for Jason. And then you're doing the looping around the full circle of maybe this new kid, Tommy Jarvis, is actually now the killer. But I don't know. But still, solid ending for sure. Like it a lot. Okay, so anyways, guys, that is the list, ranking all the endings from worst to best. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite ending in the franchise? Please, if you like the video, give the thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please do so. We're going to have much more Friday 13th videos coming in the next few weeks. And hey, Friday 13th is right around the corner, June 13th. Hope you guys are making some fun plans. We may do some kind of marathon or watch along here on the channel, so stay tuned for that. Until next time, you guys take care.